So, welcome everyone. I hope you're having an incredible Sunday. I am definitely having a wonderful Sunday. I'm about to go. Hey, Molly, Bernie, Cheryl, Martha. Thank you so much for watching the MSN show. I'd love to hear your thoughts, how I did. Smokey Joe, Farah, Lori, welcome everybody. It's incredible feeling, a lot of work. Hey, Cheech, how are you? Um First of all, let's start off with I hope, I don't know how many of you got a chance to see my Substack letter that I put out. It was a Substack letter video earlier today about Ukraine. I want you to definitely, if you haven't got a chance to take a look at, I want you to definitely go watch it. I want you to watch it a couple of times and really understand the incredible work you guys are doing, this community is doing, each and every one of us, to be able to go out there and be able to help so many people, and so especially kids. To me, kids is extremely something that's dear to my heart. You know me, I have 7 of them, so that's something extremely important. And this week, Alexander was able to go to this orphanage that has basically kids of all ages that are from parents that were died in the war. And it was just incredible to see that Alexander, with this time we brought them not only a generator, but we also brought them what's it called, some food. We brought them a bunch of computers somebody donated, which was incredible, and a bunch of other stuff. And just to see their faces and watching the reactions of, it didn't matter if they were 14, 15, 16 years old, or watching a 3, 4-year-old. It made me cry, and I know make you guys cry. So, and then there's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to let you know it was incredible to watch that. And again, thanks to Alexander, our hero. And one of the things I want to make sure you guys all really understand is that me running for Congress is in no way going to stop our movement from Voice of Ukraine. It's only going to amplify it. It's going to only make it much bigger, much more powerful, because I'll be able to use my voice now in Congress to actually make a difference. Alexander is going to continue doing what he's doing from over in Ukraine. We have incredible people like Cheech and others in this community. Dr. Eric, Dr. Love, and others. And a lot of volunteers that I'm working behind to be able to continue the work that we're doing. So it's not going to stop. I might not be able to report on it daily; others will. But believe me when I tell you, Cheech, I know you'd be there, brother, and I'm counting on each and every one of you guys, because we need to make sure that part of what expands the mission is making sure the platform grows. One of the things is, because of my run for Congress now, our platform is going to go. It's going to grow. Oh, we're going to definitely shit up. I promise you, Richard, that's just the beginning. So by growing our platform, it's going to make our voices louder. So the one thing I'm always going to keep telling you to do is definitely, definitely from now on, it's support the campaign no matter what. Thanks, Pegs, remind everybody. But definitely, if you can continue, because I won't be there every day to remind you, others will be. Continue supporting Ukraine. Continue supporting, what's it called, the people, the kids from Ukraine. By the way, Ludmila, thank you for asking. She's doing a lot better. She's recovering soon. Hopefully next week she's going to be joining us back on our weekly, coffee and tea with Lev and Dean, and wishing you and giving you the positive energy that you guys all deserve. But I definitely wanted to start off with Ukraine. Want to give you an update, and I want to thank each and every one of you for all your donations, contributions. So keep it up, keep it going, keep supporting him, because it's not going to be, especially, just think about what's going on in the world right now with all of the Iran, this war that Trump basically, it's crazy to say, not that he started it. He literally got with it, like Putin really took his nose, and MBS and BB, and they really put him into it, and they got us involved in one of the most right now worst things possible for the world economy, for the world geography, for all these wars playing out. Because what we're watching play out, just think about it, in a matter of a week, folks. In a matter of a week, Russia is now basically, oil is almost at $100 a barrel. $100 a barrel. And just think about that. Who are the biggest two groups that are making the most money off of this oil besides MBS and beside it's Venezuela, who Trump controls right now, which we're going to get into, and Russia, which Trump basically gave away for Ukraine to be able to now Russia to rebuild his machine, his war machine. And that is why you're not seeing such a condemnation from Russia by Putin for America attacking Iran. Instead, what I've been speaking to my sources, and I'm still going to be telling you my sources, folks. So I have some other surprise, interesting stuff. So as we get some more people on here, I'm going to have some. I have a little announcement with the campaign. I'm going to get you up to speed with. But exactly, Chris, gas is up. Just think about 60 cents, and it's only been a week, and the gas prices are not catching up to what's happening in the oil market. So it's about 3-4 day lagging from over there. So if you watch what's going to take place in the next week or two, another week or two of the close of the Strait of Hormuz, gas prices are going to skyrocket again, and it's only going to get worse from there. And what I'm hearing from my sources from inside of on the other side of the world is basically Putin did a checkmate. All of this game playing that has been going on for a while, Putin basically put Kushner, Witkoff, and Trump into a position where I don't know if you guys seen it. I'll try to write a letter later if I hopefully have the time because I have a lot of campaign stuff now I have to do. But if you see, if you saw that Trump was on Air Force One and he was being asked by the reporters, him and Witkoff, they were being asked about this information that there's what's it called? Basically, uh, um, the Russians are helping. The Russians are giving information where their American soldiers are. If you have not seen that, I recommend you do it. I will absolutely make sure I send you out the video. But if you take a look at the video, there's no you would think that the president of the United States was just told that there's credible information that that the Russians are giving out positions to the Iranians to be able to hit American sources, American soldiers, and instead of being like, "What we're gonna do," he was like, first of all, Witkoff turned around and said, "I don't think that's happening." Just think about that. And then Donald Trump turned around and said, even if that was the case, just think about the answer. Even if that was the case, what's it called? They're not doing a very good job of it. Just think about it. They're not doing a very good job of it. 6 American soldiers dead, and 6 American soldiers that they are reporting on. Just think about how many actual soldiers, how many deaths there are that they're not reporting on. They're not talking about that. We're going to find out. So with the economy going to literally crap, especially with this, with the oil prices, Donald Trump has gotten ourselves into something. It's called quicksand. Something Putin put him in that he can't get out of because right now today, take a look at. I was watching Aaron, my son, just put out there about that. Literally, they hit Tehran so hard that there is a black cloud of smoke standing over Tehran, the capital of Iran, and there's literally it's raining oil. Now, it's you sometimes you laugh. It's raining black gold or gold, and no, it's folks. It's raining oil. They hit the oil depository so hard that it's actually oil is dripping down all over people and citizens. You're actually exactly black rain. Thank you, Tarek. You're actually seeing now a major condemnation going on all over the world. Iranian people, even here in California and New York, all over, saying, "Stop this war. This is not what we were what you promised or what we were talking about. This is not what was discussed this is exactly what he did with Venezuela, folks. The only difference in Venezuela, he was basically, it was like going, and that's why Cuba's next. We're going to talk about Cuba in a little bit also. But Venezuela is not Iran. Venezuela is basically, Putin gave him like a gimme because Delcy Rodriguez, as you're seeing it all play out, everything I've been telling you about, it was a coordinated attempt to get Maduro out of there. So this way they could now start controlling the oil and controlling the gold and allowing the dollars, the actually narco dollars, to be able to be delivered to Russia. It's crazy, okay? This is what's done because that's why they opened up offshore accounts. And that's why right now they are benefiting, just like Donald Trump said yesterday in his, Shield of Americas, or I call it the Legion of Doom, or whatever you want to call that, how he turned around and said they're basically that first of all, he embarrassed her. He said, I will never learn the language." He just basically told people that, that he doesn't care about their language, and embarrassing. But basically, he said that oil is flowing, and our relationship with Delcy Rodriguez is amazing. She's a great president. Just think about that. There's still people in that administration that have bounties as most wanted by the United States for $25 million on their heads. And this is the people, and the money's going to Qatar. The money's going to Qatar. It's not going to America. It's not going to pay off American debt or American debt holders. It's not going to the Venezuelan people. It's not going where to be able to give them a better life, because in Venezuela it's still bad. So just like the Venezuelan people, the day Maduro was taken, if you remember, they were cheering in the streets. There was cheering here in Miami, and that's in my own district where I'm running against Salazar. People standing up there supporting, saying, "Thank God, the wicked witch is gone. Maduro's gone." Just like when we hit Iran, the Ayatollah was gone. Absolutely, but like I always say, two things can be right. The fact that Maduro was gone and that the Ayatollah is gone did not change the end game, because instead of taking out a regime and supporting a real democracy, which is led by, excuse me, Maria Machado, that Trump is basically abused, which we won't allow him to do it, because part of my campaign is I'm going to help Maria Machado. I'm going to help the people of Venezuela. I'm going to help the people in my district, in my community, to be able to actually get a democracy back in Venezuela because of what they're doing. So that is one of the reasons why I'm running in that district also, and one of the reasons why Florida is so important, because of what's going around and the way it connects the dots to everything that's happening. So Venezuela is a major key point, because if you take a look, there's major conversation about they're going after Cuba. So let me tell you this: what I'm hearing from people on the inside that are talking about that, there's literally conversation about talking about Cuba becoming a 54th state. Just think about that, a 51st, excuse me, 51st state, just like he was talking about Canada. But with Cuba, they're actually thinking about it, because once, they basically are starving the people there. They've cut everything off, and they're planning on going in there any day and just taking out the heads. I mean, that's going to be nothing like just like they did in Venezuela. The only difference is in Cuba there is nobody to deal with. That we would have to actually go in there. There is no Delcy Rodriguez, and they don't have oil or gold. So, like Trump said, they don't have the same value. The only reason he is doing this with Cuba is a few things. A is because it's strategically close to the United States, and Marco Rubio is passionately about it, because he has his sights for elections in 2028. So he's trying to put this Cuba thing as a great win for the people of Cuba, because it's Cuba would definitely not be in Iran. Cuba would be similar to a Venezuela. The only difference is in Cuba we would actually have to control the regime, and that's why they haven't even invaded yet, because they're actually talking about Cuba becoming like the 51st state. Just think about that. It's crazy, the conversation. But the oil's flowing, money's going to Qatar. Delcy Rodriguez is getting her piece. You could see the love affair between. Just think about in the past week, the love affair between Delcy Rodriguez, the dictator in Venezuela, and Donald Trump. Think about that. It's incredible. Meanwhile, there's nothing has changed in Venezuela. There's still political prisoners in prison. The economy is still bad. They're still silencing free speech. It's controlled by the narco terrorists, and the Democratic freedom fighter, the leader, Maria Machado, is not even being involved in any of the conversations. And I'll tell you a step further. She announced, and she was in the White House, and announced that she's planning on going back to Venezuela in a few weeks. Well, they're planning surprises for her. They're threatening her. The Delcy Rodriguez administration is threatening her not to go there, not to stir up stuff, because they have a beautiful relationship going on with Donald Trump right now. And remember, all of this stems from South Florida. This whole Venezuela connection is also connected to people here in South Florida. And don't forget also who's in Donald Trump's main administration that we're going to talk about. Not only am I going against Maria Salazar in District 27, but I'm also going against Donald Trump, Susie Wiles, Pam Bondi, Brian Ballard, the whole group of association and corruption that's been tied to this whole Venezuela stuff. So that is where why we're going to break open all of this stuff. Also, to let you know, just to give you some updates because it's very important. I hope you, if you guys got a chance to see my interview today on Ali Valshi, I want to shout out to Ali. Thank you for having me on. We got to talk about the campaign a little bit. Also, he was able to bring on Congressman Raskin afterwards. I just want to give you guys some updates on the campaign and some of the things that are going to be going on because a lot of things, there's changes, a lot of things happening this week. So, first of all, I jumped on quickly to give you this update. I'm going to spend some time with my family, get some rest because this week we're starting, a lot is about to start going down because as I promised you, no more talk, all action. And now that we're officially announced in our campaign run, now it's time for a lot of action. I will be all over the country. I'm going to Washington, D.C., and a lot of other places, which stay tuned. So the one thing I do want to say is I'm going to try to do something different than a lot of people haven't done. I'm going to try because this campaign is just like our Love Remembers platform. Just like all of you subscribers, this campaign, I'm going to be carrying your voices on my shoulders, just like when we went to Washington D.C. When I sat in the chamber there, when Pam Bondi stood there and couldn't even turn around and face the survivors, the victims, the Epstein survivors in the face and made a mockery. I was there. I brought your petition. We have over 37,000 signatures. Just think about the differences we are making. So now, I just want to let you know what I'm thinking. I'm speaking to my compliance team and speaking to my team. But what I want to do is we are going to I'm going to try to have my campaign run live with you. I'm going to take you behind the scenes. I'm going to try to put together so this way you guys could see everything that's going on as basically as much as legally possible. You know, the behind the scenes. So this way there's no backdoor conversations. There's no hidden things. You guys get to see it all. Like, try to do, somewhere maybe do like a reality show, but real, but actually my campaign. So as long as compliance and I'm sorry, I didn't get guns. So as long as what's it called, compliance and everybody allows that, I'm going to try and make it as transparent as possible. Also, I want to talk about something very important because some of you have. Not a lot, but some people have concerns, and I want to address all the concerns because all the concerns are very important. Some people have been asking about the GoFundMe and asking me about that the GoFundMe went towards lawyers, GoFundMe went towards. So let me clear stuff up. The GoFundMe that we set up, that we raised a little over $100,000 for, first of all, I've only been able to receive a small portion of it. Most of that money is still tied up in GoFundMe, and we're trying to get it released because they've never released it because of certain, either the Trump administration putting pressure on them because they didn't want to release it, or because of this whole thing with Michael Cohen that transpired and people called in there. So, first of all, almost 90% of that money is still, we haven't even seen it. Second of all, a portion of that money has been used for my travels to Washington, D.C., which I, in the GoFundMe, told you that I would use for travel, for security, for certain expenses and personal. So it was a very small portion of it that was used for that. Then there was also a small portion used that I hired, like I told you in the GoFundMe, professional consultants to help me put this tour together, to help me put together a group of media and lawyers and all of that, which I said in the GoFundMe. So that is exactly how. So I want to make it very clear for those of you, if you that want your money back on the GoFundMe, or for whatever reason, you could request it. I'm sure GoFundMe will give it back to you. You could DM us, and we will give it back to you. I want to make it very clear. It was not, the GoFundMe was specifically for what it was, and I hope that it makes it very clear. And I don't want to keep going back for it, but you're more than welcome to request your money back from GoFundMe or ourselves and we will make it clear because the money, A, first of all, hasn't been released yet. B, when it will be released, the money will be used for, I want to make it clear, for my security, for certain bills, for travel, for anything that I need to be able to protect myself, my family, as I'm making this run for the campaign. That money will not be used for anything to do with the campaign. That money has nothing to do with the campaign whatsoever. The campaign money is strictly, is levparnas.org. And that's why I want to make sure very clearly. And that's where the only place I want anybody to send money is levparnas.org, not to the camp, and not to my GoFundMe. We are the GoFundMe shouldn't even be up there, and if it is, it will be taken down. Not to my Venmo accounts, not to that. All of those things are no longer there. That's why I say the only thing that starting once I made my announcement is I want all the contribution, all your help, all your support to go one of two ways: either towards the our campaign to say, which is levparnas.org, or definitely I want you to support our platforms like here on Substack and on YouTube and anywhere else, because those are algorithms, and that is the best way you will always help me support myself. Because I'm not, I just want to make it clear, I'm not taking money from any of these special interests. I'm not taking money from AIPAC or any of these big organizations. I'm not taking money from super PACs. On the contrary, I am going to be running, exposing how this money flows go in there. So I want to make it very, very clear to everybody out there that I don't have billions of dollars or some war chest. So yes, I do, am very, and I have 6 kids, and I'm always honest with you guys. So I do, this is a grassroots movement, and I am counting on each and every one of you and your support to be able to continue your help and everything you're doing, because we are going to do this campaign just like we had Love Remembers platform. Grassroots, no big sponsors, no big billionaires behind us. It's each and every one of you, every single dollar, and we're gonna use use the facts, use the truth, use our voices to be able to take our democracy back, and not only here in District 27 here in Florida, but all over the country. Because, like I said, this is a national campaign. This is a campaign where not only am I fighting for my constituents here in Florida 27, but I'm going to go out there and help every single campaign out there, just like I said on Ali Vashi, to be able to get our democracy back. Our campaign is not made up of certain policies. The people that support me might not agree with every policy down the road that we might agree to disagree on. But that's the great part of America, is to be able to agree to disagree, to be able to go out there, and have your voices heard. But to get there, this is what my message to every congressional, every Senate race, every state down the road. That's why I go to Washington, D.C. That's why I speak to other Democrats that are running right now. And I'm making it very clear to them. Right now, to get there, we have to align as a team to be able to stop Donald Trump and the people that he is aligned with in Congress, in Senate, and other places that are enabling him to be able to do what he does. Because by himself, he wouldn't be able to do this. So there's a lot of different moving parts, and that is why I'm telling them it's not, you can't just run and say, oh, we need to run on a certain policy all over the country. That is why we lost. That is why Donald Trump is in office. That is why we need to stop. Yes, economy, absolutely. We're going to be running on economy, because look at what's going on. Gas prices are going through the roof. People can't afford going shopping. Absolutely, 100%. The tariffs, the stock market's going down. Tariffs are going up. It's absolutely, that's an important one. The economy is 100%. Immigration, 100%. What he's doing with ICE, what he's taking people off the street. Not only in my district in 27, I have constituents, folks, that voted for Donald Trump that are now sitting in Alcatraz Alley with their families, reaching out, and Maria Salazar is not even returning their phone calls. She's not even going out there and helping. Instead, she's out there now talking about how it's time to go after Cuba. Just like Lindsey Graham. I don't know if you've seen him on Fox. He had 2 hats. He said, let's make Iran great hat. Think about that, Lindsey Graham. And then he had a hat as Cuba is next. And it's like days away. I mean, these people are basically are on a mission, and he's saying it. They're saying it. They're like, we're going straight and taking everybody out. It's crazy. Think about how many people are dying. Just think about that video we started off this conversation off in Ukraine. Think about that Ukrainian video and all those kids. Think about how many kids now are dying in Iran. Think about all those kids, those children, that school that we hit that Trump doesn't even want to take what's it called, responsibility for, is blaming you. Just think about that. Think about all the people that died in Palestine that we don't even talk about. Think about all the people that died on October 7th. We don't talk about. Think about all the people that are dying and they're being persecuted every day in Venezuela, South America, that we don't talk about. Think about all of that that's happening because of what Donald Trump is doing, because of allowing this dictatorship group kumbaya that they're having to be able. So this campaign that we're running, folks, is not about one district. It's not about a state. It's about a worldwide campaign. And that is why I need each and every one of your support and help, because this is not just some district here in 27. By me getting into Congress is the worst thing that Donald Trump or any of his enablers would ever imagine could happen to him. Since I've announced, I don't know if, for those of you that don't know, I've been getting phone calls every single day from people that are coming out of the woodworks that I haven't spoken to for 6, 7 years. All of a sudden, they're calling me, texting me, and trying to become also. I'm from both sides of the aisle. It's incredible to see. But I want to make it very clear, and I want to make it very, very clear to each and every one of you. My campaign has no loyalty to the Democrats, Republicans, or independents. My campaign has it to each and every one of you individuals, citizens, American citizens, constituents, not because there's a D there or if there's an R there. Or yes, I'm running as a Democrat because the Democratic Party is the only party right now that's able to save our democracy. Do we need change in our Democratic Party? Absolutely. That's why we need fresh blood. That's why we need to get the establishment out there. That's why we need to get in a lot of these races. We're going to get fresh, new Democratic leaders that are going to come in 100%. But there is no Republican Party, folks. There is no Republican because it's called MAGA. And because MAGA needs to be ripped apart, just like when we talk about abolishing ICE, we never mean really abolishing ICE, because abolishing is a very strong word. We say it because it's emotional, but we want to change. We want to be able. We understand that we need some sort of legal, proper immigration enforcement. We just don't want terrorists wearing masks that are controlled by authoritarians or going out there that could do whatever they want. And right now, that's what their name is, ICE. So we want to abolish them, but to do that, just like in anything else, you have to, just like cancer or anything else, you have to get rid of all. You have to start from the beginning. You have to go flat, because if you leave even a little bit of this corruption in there, it will grow. And Donald Trump has put this corruption all over the aisle. We have this corruption right now spreading so wild, like a wildfire in California on on a very dry day. So that is why this campaign is important. Also, I want to let you know, Donald Trump is also, I've been speaking to, because remember, one of the things I'm going to be running on, and one of the things that, that I even got in trouble for, is donating money to Donald Trump's super PAC. So think about that. Who better than me is going to be there to blow up all the super PAC corruption? So I spoke to Congressman Ro Khanna. I know you guys know that I have a relationship with him. And one of the things I really respect about Congressman Ro Khanna, besides his major, major push and support for the Epstein survivors and everything he's done, but also that he stands very strongly about super PAC money, about, he runs his grassroots campaign also. And me and him spoke about that several times. And, that was one of even the reasonings when I made my decisions to go into Congress, is because I would always talk talk to him, I would say to him, Congressman O'Connor, what we really need to talk about is all of this foreign money that is flowing through our lobbyists, flowing through our, super PACs. That this is where the real election interference is happening. Like this is where, and he agreed with me, and he's like, "Love, I'm dying. We need to talk about it." But unfortunately, with the Epstein files and everything else, right now we don't have. But think about that once I get into Congress, once I'm there sitting beside Congressman Rokana, blowing up all of these foreign money packs, super PACs, and bringing it out. We're going to rip it apart piece by piece because there's nobody better than me that knows it because I was part of it. I know I went to prison for it. So, now believe me, I'm going to use all of that knowledge, all of their backroom dealings, everywhere I sat, know and who, and we're going to take it and rip it apart. I'll give you something else that I want to share with you guys. That made why another push why I really decided to run. Also, is I have a dear friend, Congressman Jamie Raskin. Congressman Raskin, I really look up to. He's truly a hero, a fighter, and an inspiration to all of us. Watching what he went through during the January 6th with his own personal health issues, with his own personal family issues, and his son and everything, and to fight through that and still show up every day in Congress and fight for and be such a loud, powerful voice for each and every one of you, and never sell out, never, I always looked up to that because he always, also, was an inspiration to me because he pushed to have my voice being heard in Congress. As hard as the Republicans, as hard as Comer, James Comer, or Donald Trump, or all of them tried to shut me down, as hard as they tried to, they voted against it. Yeah, I remember Jamie Raskin bringing it up to subpoena me to be, and they would go against it, and we still got accomplished. And ever since then, me and Congressman Raskin had a very close relationship, and I've always supported him. And I was in Washington one time, and me and him were just sitting there. We were having what's it called? Not Slurpee. We were having a shake, and what he was saying to me, we were just talking about the impeachment and how there needs to be accountability, how there and one of the things I was telling him, I was saying to him, the one thing that I worry about is yes, we're gonna have this blue wave, we're gonna have this, we're gonna take over Congress, and then what? I said because you speak to anybody, you speak out there, everybody's worried. The same thing is that the Democrats usually then take a step back. They don't hold them to the accountability. There's no accountability. We try to start, toning it down, and it basically gets buried, moved on. And and while he was drinking, he was looked at me. He said, "Wouldn't it be funny if you were sitting, if it was somebody like you, or you, I'm paraphrasing, sitting next to me, what's it called, during questioning them, during them while they were being sitting in the hot seat on the other side." And I laughed at that moment. But when I came home from DC and I was with my family and I was telling my wife and I was saying to her, that was one of the things that I was saying to her. I said, just think about, in reality, we watch all of this and all of this filibustering going. I said, the one agenda I would have is literally, can you imagine them sitting on the opposite, where they would be in the hot seat and I would be sitting next to Jamie Raskin and the House Intelligence Committee, and people like Congresswoman Crockett and other fighters out there like Dan Goldman and Moskowitz, and now you had me in there with actual, text messages and actual, where we sat in the room where they were in those same rooms with me, where now if they lie to me, there's accountability. They could be brought up on perjury because we'll be having. I mean, just think about the incredible, just that scenario alone. So I wanted to also make sure to get out to everybody out there that our campaign, this campaign is a different campaign. And that's why this campaign is for our whole country. And that's why I need, I don't care where you live, if you live in Washington State, California, Chicago, New York, DC, Texas, this campaign is for each and every one of you. That's why I need each and every one of you to contribute to our levparnas.org, because Donald Trump and what they're planning here, they already, I'm hearing, have a war chest put together over $10 to $12 million. I want you to think about that for a second. This is a small congressional race in Florida where the biggest Democrat right now, I think, has raised in that race, I think, $600,000. I think Maria Salazar herself has raised a little over $1 million. They're preparing a 10 to $12 million as soon as I announced. They're preparing people like Laura Loomer, Benny Johnson, Shapiro, and others to start getting the attacking me and stuff like this. Think about what they're planning and what's about to go down. But the one thing we have an advantage that they don't have is we have each and every one of them. There's a lot more of us. We don't need one person to give us $1 million. I don't want to be dependent to anybody. I wouldn't even take it. I want the grassroots, just like, when Obama did it, just like when, you go look back in history where, every dollar counts from around the country, because this campaign is for each and every person around the country. That's why I want you to take it and share it far and wide, because just like, there's a saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, what happens in Florida does not stay in Florida. It goes around the country. Florida is a major state when it comes to elections around what happens in decision making. Don't forget, Florida is also Donald Trump's backyard. Florida is also where all of this is coming from. So Florida will be not only an important part of the 2026 election midterms. Florida will be important in 2028. Florida will be important, and that's why I chose to do that. But the race is a national race. It's for each and every vote out there, and that's why I need each and every one of your support. I'm going to be honest with you; it's not going to be easy. They're going to come after and do whatever they can. But the one thing we have that they don't have, remember, we have the receipts. The one thing I have that not one person running for Congress, Senate, one office that I have that nobody has is actual receipts against Donald Trump and all of his enablers. I sat in the rooms with them. I was part of their conversations. I know how they think. So just think about what's going to transpire every day. This is like this campaign is going to be like a locomotion, like a train's just picking up speed, because we're just getting started. We're only 3-4 days into it. This week we have a lot of things planned. But for us to be able to start doing it, because I don't want to wait 2-3 months before the election. I want to start today, because today is when we need to start already changing. I already want today to be when people in Congress are starting to be scared all over the country, not just here in Florida. I want everybody to be shaken, not just Donald Trump, but every single congressional race. The only way we could do that, and I'm going to be honest with you, is if we have enough financial support. So my ask to you today, and I'm asking each and every one of you, is to please take this message, share it far and wide. Make sure this is not about some individual, a GoFundMe. This is not about, some charity we're doing. This is it. This is what we've been all talking about for years. This is what we've been talking about for the past 10 months since I came here. This is what we've been gearing up for. This is what every time we talk about, every time each and every one of you DM'd me, emailed me, texted me, asked me a question, what can we do? How can we stop this? What can we do? Well, this is it. We're here. This is it. We're going to stop it, because each and every one of you is a wolf pack. That's what we are. We have loyalty. And that's why I say to you, I don't say it to be smirk or to be sarcastic when I say wolf pack. I don't really say it to even be funny. I really truly believe that we've built something incredible, and this is going to be a wolf pack movement across the nation. And that's why we need the Wolfpack movement to go across the nation and to build so strong that our voice is going to overtake all of them. Because believe me, another week, another 2 weeks, this is going to become Donald Trump against us. And we need to be prepared, because they do not play fair. The one thing they'd have is a lot of money, folks. They have the Elon Musks, they have the Peter Thiels, they have all these super PACs that we're going to blow up and uncover. But they don't have the support of each and every one of you guys like we do. So that's why I want to wish you an incredible Sunday. I want you to go out there, spend some time with your family. There's a lot of craziness going on. I want to also make sure I'm going to continue being here with you, updating you, giving you behind the scenes. For those of you that just joined late, I'm working on turning this campaign into something that it's never been done before, doing a real campaign for the people to be able to give you access to everything that's going on legally possible. So that takes, part of the social media being on every single platform. So the other thing I ask each and every one of you to do is also go open accounts on all these platforms, because this fight is not going to be here on Substack. Substack, YouTube is our family where we talk about, where we could sit here and talk about, and I could bring you information. But we're going to bring this fight on all the platforms: Instagram, X, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, where you name it, we're going to be there. And the team that I have put together is incredible. And I have incredible press secretary Sabina Kovo. I have incredible, managers like Reed Galeen and others joining me. And I have incredible people behind me. But we're only growing because we're adding people to it, because we're going to turn this into such a powerful social media monster that they're not even ready. Because remember, the one thing we have is receipts, facts, and information. And we're going to destroy them. Like I told you, we're going to take them apart piece by piece, fact by fact, truth by truth. And on that, I want to leave everybody, wish you an incredible, for every wonderful woman out there. Today is International Women's Day. And I want to wish each and every, I'm going to go take my incredible wife out for International Women's Day and with the kids, and we're going to go celebrate it. I want you, for each and every woman out there, if you're even with a loved one, by yourself, with your kids, with your significant other, with your friends, or here just with us, I'm wishing you an incredible Women's Day for all the women out there. Because of you, there's us. Without you, there would be none of us. You are incredible. You are special. You are what brings a smile to all our faces, and you really are. This is your day, so you all deserve it. Go, enjoy it the way you want it. Celebrate it. Take everything out of the way, and then tomorrow we'll be right back at it. And we have a lot. For those of you that are joining late, make sure, I'm going to put it out later on. Watch. There's a lot of updated information, a lot of things happening. And again, have an incredible Sunday. Love to each and every one of you. Make sure to go to levparnas.org. That's levparnas.org. That's it. That's our movement, folks. That's what we've all been. It's like we gave birth. We gave birth 9 months. It's been 9 months on this platform. Think about it. And we gave birth to a movement. The movement is called levparnas.org. It's called the Wolfpack, each and every one of you. So please go there every single day, whatever you can. $1 a day. $1 a day keeps Donald Trump away. I love that. $1 a day to levparnas.org keeps Donald Trump away. So, folks, whatever you could do, and definitely shout out to my sister, and thank you for all the incredible well wishes. She's doing great. To all my kids, thank you for your support. Aaron, Daniel, Milana, Olivia, Andrew, Nathan, Zarina, thank you. And to my incredible wife, happy International Women's Day. You are my rock. You're my everything. I love you. Thank you so much for standing behind me, doing this side by side. And you're going to get to, I'm pushing her, but you're going to get to see a lot more of my wife, Svetlana, on this campaign, because this is a family affair. We're all fighting for democracy. We're all in it. So love you guys. Again, happy International Women's Day. Take care.